Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many different connections, not just to the prequels and the original trilogy, but also Star Wars Rebels, the hit animated TV series by Dave Filoni. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about this film that a lot of people are really curious about is, of course, exactly how J.J. Abrams is going to utilize all the different connections to, of course, the prequels, the originals, and even Star Wars Rebels. Now, yes, we do know that JJ is inserting a lot of content in here and that it's really going to make it feel interconnected with not just the Skywalker saga, but also the Rebels TV series. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks and the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for the characters of Kylo Ren, the Knights of Ren, and even Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, specifically, what's really exciting is it's described that one of the scenes that were shot during the month of November included Adam Driver and 6 actors dressed as the Knights of Ren, where it's described that they were inside of a large set that was described to be the wreckage of a ship that has a connection to Star Wars Rebels. It's described to be a Star Destroyer of some kind, where on set, one of the outfits that was used was an outfit of Grand Admiral Thrawn. It said that an unnamed actor shot a sequence with the outfit on, where Thrawn was used in the form of a hologram on board of the ship wreckage that Kylo and his Knights of Ren explore in the unknown regions. It's described to be a brief sequence, however, another nod to Star Wars Rebels by JJ, and one of the reasons as to why JJ had discussions with Dave Filoni during pre-production. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this. Now, first things first, we do know that the unknown regions is going to play somewhat of a role in The Rise of Skywalker, which is good news in my opinion because, well, let's face it, we've never seen the unknown regions on the big screen before in great detail, right? And I think that's a region of the galaxy that a lot of fans want to see on the big screen, especially in IMAX. I mean, there's so much that you can do. You know, it has been said numerous times that in the unknown regions, there's a lot of danger. You know, there's black holes and stuff like that. So when we look at Episode 9, we can only imagine what JJ is trying to do with all the different cameos and all the different connections to other Star Wars canon material. Now, in this scenario, this is Thrawn in the form of a hologram, a very short and brief hologram on board of the ship wreckage, which most likely ties directly into what we went over about 1 month ago, about Kylo and his Knights of Ren hearing a radio transmission of some kind, of Thrawn basically making a mayday as he was crash landing on this unknown world in the unknown regions. That also leads, alright, the transmission from Thrawn also leads to a big connection to the Dark Spire, which is actually based over in the Outer Rim and has the connection to the origins of the dark side of the Force. So, one thing I do want to go over is that the classic outfit of Grand Admiral Thrawn was used on set on an unnamed actor that was used in order to film the hologram sequence. Now, does this necessarily mean that Thrawn is in the movie alive, or if he's coming back in this movie, you know, in the flesh? Not necessarily, but this is still a great and exciting nod to Star Wars Rebels by J.J. Abrams. And I gotta say, you know, we already see what JJ is trying to do with all the nostalgia, including Palpatine's laugh at the very end of the teaser trailer. It's really getting a lot of people very hyped for this movie. And even Kathleen Kennedy and JJ said before in the past at Celebration that Palpatine's laughter is indeed going to live up to the hype. So whatever we're thinking may very well be correct, you know, so he may actually end up coming back to life in a very unique way, for all we know. But I digress. This whole entire ship wreckage that's said to be a Star Destroyer of some kind, let's not forget that Ezra Bridger was also on this ship at the very end of Rebels Season 4. So it also brings up the question as to where is Ezra Bridger? Now, we have heard of this character codenamed EB for the longest time right now. That is most definitely the character of Ezra Bridger, having a brief scene or two in Episode 9 on the battlefield in the 3rd act of the movie. And with that being said, you know, how Grand Admiral Thrawn would be used in this film, it's being used in a sense in order to guide Kylo and the Knights to the Dark Spire, as well as a location in the Outer Rim. the final piece to the discovery of the actual Dark Spire. Now, this whole entire scenario is basically an inversion of Rey's travels to the Lost City. You know, it's basically the equivalent of that, and I think that's a very interesting way of storytelling where Kylo and his knights go on a similar adventure to what Rey is going on by herself with Poe and Finn, where they eventually split. I find that to be a very interesting way of doing a Star Wars film. And I think that when we look at Rebels and how Dave Filoni spoke with J.J. Abrams, you know, non-stop throughout pre-production, principal photography, and even now as we speak in post-production, you can really see how they are really trying to keep the continuity in place and all together in order to make it feel complete and fulfilled. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding on the one from night to moon.